My name is Adesoji Sholanke and I head up Absa's FinTech Investment Banking Origination team. FinTech is a new sector that Absa is increasingly investing in, particularly as we see banks, telcos, and FinTech companies increasingly collaborate and driving new sectors of growth for the future. Our role is to identify and support the execution of FinTech-related advisory opportunities, whether that's in mergers and acquisitions or capital raising in private or public markets. Naturally, in the execution of this, we also come across opportunities for balance sheet lending or joint venture collaboration opportunities with the broader Absa group, and in such instances, we refer those to our colleagues for consideration. Over the past 2 to 3 years, we've seen a couple of significant FinTech-related transactions happen on the continent. More recently, we've seen companies such as Airtel and MTN bring in strategic investors to help unlock the value from within their FinTech-related businesses. Additionally, we've also seen certain FinTech listings happen on the continent, particularly in Northern Africa, specifically Egypt. We often ask whether we see telcos and FinTechs as collaborators or competitors to banks. The reality is that for FinTechs to thrive, they need the robust governance that banks provide. The banks also provide a store of value and support with credit, having honed their skills in credit over many cycles. What the telcos and FinTechs have been doing is re-architecting who owns the customer and merchant relationships by reshaping the infrastructure for distribution of financial services. These developments tell us that FinTech in Africa and other emerging markets will continue to evolve and remain a high growth area. And this is where Absa looks to remain a thought leader and one of the leading innovative providers of solutions within the space. Consider for a moment the following. On the African continent, there's 5 bank branches and just about 20 ATMs for every 100,000 people. By contrast, there's over 500 mobile money agents for the same number of people. The last mile reach of these mobile money agents is significant. On top of this, there's significant funding going into the sector. Over the past 5 years, African tech companies have raised over $20 billion in equity and debt funding. In 2022 alone, African tech companies raised $6.5 billion in 764 deals, with FinTech attracting the most funding, representing 39% of equity funds raised by African tech companies. In 2022, Nigerian FinTech companies attracted 42% of equity funding on the continent, with South Africa coming in next at 20%, followed by Egypt at 14%. While the rising interest rate environment has meant that fundraising on the continent has slowed down, particularly as international investors pull out, we have seen these cycles before and expect the tide to rise once again for African tech companies. This is largely why Absa is looking to play a more significant role in the ecosystem going forward as we work with our clients through the highs and the lows of the cycles.